two Malayalam police investigation thrillers released in this year 2024 did the exact same innovation with this genre. Like, what are the chances? Such coincidence. But was it innovation for the good or the bad? Let's talk. Hello guys, I'm Nona Prince, and the two Malayalam films we're talking about are Thalavan and Golam. Both released in the same year, both are police procedural crime thrillers, and now they are available on streaming. This genre is nothing new to Malayalam cinema. They own it. I've seen so many of them, and there are really some great ones that stand out. My favorite has to be But when there are so many films from same genre, it becomes saturated. Like, how much can you make the investigation different? You can try different things. How you depict it visually. You can try to make it more engaging. You can add those twists and turns. But these things expire very soon. The factor that makes such films remember for a long time is what they were saying, more than the plot and the twist and the investigation. The themes they were exploring. That's what makes them special and be remembered for a long time. Now with these two films, they have a very interesting case to be solved. It is engaging. There are twists and turns. You don't know where we are going. They have their own themes they're exploring, but they are doing something more, that innovation. And it really surprised me. I first saw Thalavan. We did a whole live watch along of it, and after watching it I was like, oh, this is interesting, this is something new. And then I saw Golam, and they did the exact same thing, and I was wondering, why is no one talking about it? Now we are talking about thrillers, and if I say anything it will be a spoiler, so if you have seen the film then only continue watching. Both films are streaming, you can check them out, and I would say both of them are good average films. The standard is so high, like don't expect a Kishkinda Kandam there. Have your expectations under control. So both these films have two things in common. First, which is the most important thing, both films have Dilesh Pothan, who ends up dead. That has to be the biggest similarity. But coming to the second point, both these films end with a setup for a sequel, which is very unique. I have not seen that many times before. Yes, in the recent times there have been many films that are doing this. They already announced a part 2 and the first part ends with a cliffhanger. And for many of those films it doesn't really work well because it feels like the story is incomplete, as if the film just stopped in the middle, and it's very unsatisfying. But you generally see this with big budget films. In Hollywood we had the Spider-Verse film, and in India the trend started from Bahubali, and then every big pan-India film is doing the same, be it KGF, Salar, Brahmastra, even the upcoming Devara. But here with these two films, I think it's one of the first time where a crime thriller is doing a setup for a sequel. And the good thing with both the films is that the way they finish the film, they wrap up the main plot, but they seamlessly leave the door open for a sequel to come. And the way both the films do it is very different. So let's talk first about Thalavan. Now in this film, the whole plot we see is being narrated by a character played by Dilesh Pothan for a TV show. And there is this sense of unreliable narration here, that what all he's saying, is it really true, or is he adding his own things, or is he lying, or is he hiding stuff? We are very unsure about it. Now they finish the mystery they build up in the film, they wrap it up, but at the end it's revealed that there's more. There's a chapter 2 to the story, and that actually makes you wonder, what can it be? You solve the whole case, how is there more to this? But no, the film ends with the narrator being dead. Not just dead, he's murdered. That means someone is trying to bury the truth. They don't want it to come out. So that opens another box with so many questions. Did we even solve the case? Did we get the truth? Or is it a mix of facts and lies? So that leaves you with the thought that you actually don't know what is right and wrong, what has really happened and what has not. And it makes the film kind of open-ended until we get the sequel where we get all the answers. The film overall was really good. I like the conflict they created between the two characters played by Biju Menon and Asif Ali. It explored the theme of anger and ego, the clash between two, but I felt we didn't get enough of it. Very less percentage of the film is them being together. Most of it is them being separate and investigating the same case. And also there were some commercial elements which for me didn't work that well. I would have liked if the film had stayed a little grounded. There were some action movements, some slow motion, which I understand they want to make the film more engaging and more commercial, but those moments were so weak that it took away from what you really had. So if the focus was more on that, it would have been much more fun. But there's a sequel to do a lot. Now with Golam, the story is in phases. So this film was like a level 1. You took down the boss. Now it's time to go to the next level and take down the next boss. And then you keep going until you finish all of it. Again, they wrap up the mystery and the plot within the film. And through that, we discover that there's a lot more going on. Whatever we see in this narrative, that is part of a bigger narrative that's happening. And here there are two ways to go ahead with it. Either at the end of the film, you show a montage that all of it has been taken care of, the culprits are caught, and it's a happy ending, move on. Or you do what this film did, that leave a door open to explore this in the next film. Now I really find the narrative of this film really cool. The whole backstory to why the murder happens is very different. The boss was conducting an experiment on all the employees, and they all came together to take revenge from him. And even the whole plan they come up with is very interesting, a very refreshing idea. But I was not at all a fan of the treatment of the film. It felt like they were not sure what they're trying to make, a serious crime thriller, a hero commercial film, or a sentimental revenge thriller. The film was not at all following the Malayalam template we are used to. And the background music, which I normally don't notice, but I did with this film because it was all over the place. It was getting too serious, too melodramatic, and then suddenly it had the vibe of a Mission Impossible when we see the plan unfolding. So, it was throwing you off. Also, I was not a fan of the execution because almost 40 to 50% of the film where you expect the investigation to happen, it's actually not being done by our hero in the film. He reaches to a point where he discovers the doctor knows a lot, and then the whole segment is just doctor telling him that what all they have discovered. So it's like investigation has already happened. He's just sitting there and listening to the whole story, and then we are listening to the whole story. So that kind of takes away the energy and the thrill. The moment you get to know from the doctor what the employees went through, you know what has happened. You can predict everything. It's just that you want to see how it unfolded and how they really killed him. So because of that, the film is actually below 2 hours, but still it feels very long. It feels dragged. I felt they could have cut down more 20 minutes and to make it more crisp. But the film ends that level 1 is completed. Now it's next level, a new boss, and you have to take down this whole organization who's doing this wrong thing. And the film talks about the greed, how you are willing to experiment on humans, that the people who do it are humans because only humans can go so far. But I felt all of it was done very surface level and very on your face. I missed those layers and depth in it. But there's a future for both the films. For Thalavan, they have already announced a sequel, so we hope to see that again. But Golam, I have not heard anything yet. They will be missing a major actor if they announce a sequel. If you know, you know. But overall, it was fun to see a different approach to this genre. It adds to the innovation of Malayalam cinema, especially this year. It's been crazy, and I've talked about in this video, broken it down, why it all happened. Do let me know your thoughts about it in the comments below, and I will see you next time.